Welcome to the Money Business Podcast. I'm your host, Neal Regino. Today I'm with special guest Alex Burman from Sayburm Media.
Thanks, Neal.
A lot of people from the area definitely will recognize you on this, but why don't you tell us a little bit about you and the company that you represent?
Yeah, so I'm a founder and content producer at Sayburm Media. We're a entertainment media startup business that focuses on entertaining and comedy content posted on social media. And we have a goal of building online community, making people laugh, and finding strategic partnerships to get awareness and engagement for brands, businesses, and companies.
That's great. And, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on here is so many kids want to do what you're doing, want to be content creators, want to make money by doing things that they are already doing. You were doing content for 5-6 years maybe, and you can correct me, but you've been putting this out. You were getting sort of these deals and making money for a while. When did you decide, hey, I'm going to transition from doing this as part-time, dip my toes in, but now I'm going to take this on full force?
For sure. So I was making content and have been for around 7 years. And at the time that I left my day job, quote unquote, I think I was making content for around 6.5. So, I had a long time making videos, posting videos online week after week. There were plenty of years and months that there was really no monetization at all. It was just because I loved it. It was what I was doing. I was working a 9-to-5 job in the banking world and getting my feet wet and trying to get experience and build my resume because I really wasn't sure whether I would succeed or not on social media. But as time went on, I started to build the platforms. I started to grow and get followers and get views. And that's when brands started to reach out to me to say, hey, we want to partner with you and work with you. And you can highlight our product or service on your platform that we know is getting views and has followers. So, I was happy once I started getting that sort of interest because to me, I like to be creative and I sort of have a passion for writing and creating skits and commercials and ads for a business. I just have a passion for it. So it's a challenge for me to say, hey, how can I integrate naturally and authentically this product or service into a video that people are going to enjoy? Because that's my goal, is for someone to enjoy and laugh at the content that I make. So if a business comes to me and says, hey, we have this brief here, you have to follow this sort of like structure of what we want, but you can pitch us the type of idea that you want to put in the ad. That's great for me because then I get to put my thinking cap on and say, hey, how can we make this a fun video that's going to be seen, get engagement, get views, so everybody laughs at it, they think it's funny, they share it with their friends, and the business gets engagement, awareness, and eyeballs on their brand. So, I've made ads that have gotten over 1 million views. It's not impossible to make something that someone wants to watch where they also see a product or service that they could end up using. So, if they end up benefiting from it and see something that they like that I'm promoting, that's amazing. Everybody's happy. So that sort of like sponsored content is a mainstream of the revenue that Sayburm Media drives. And was that always a goal for that to happen? Did I know that was how a business would come about? No, I sort of just wanted my videos to be seen to see if I could become an actor or a comedian, which, I guess I'm at that point. And I'm always trying to work toward getting in more serious stuff and making better projects and putting out better videos. But yeah, what pays the bills, right, and how you operate a company is through a business. And so, I'm lucky to be able to monetize these channels from growing the following to around, I think it's just over 500,000 followers at this point.
Well, you're definitely an actor and a comedic actor for
Thanks.
sure.
Yeah, I try.
As an expert in the field.
Yeah, is that right?
Take my word down.
I think so.
But and then obviously you were making enough money that you say, hey, I can do this
back to
full
your
time
question.
for sure.
Yeah, so back to your question to answer that. I was working corporate. I was at a point where I felt ready and comfortable because of how things were performing and where my platform was. And, at a certain point when you take that leap, you just got to go. You just got to say, I'm going to give this my all. If I have all the time in the world to be able to put my efforts toward this, it'll probably grow and it'll perform better. And I think since I left 6 months ago, it absolutely has. And I've given myself more time and energy. I mean, I was really, really working hard every week because 9 to 5, sometimes after hours for that. Then on weekends and at night, I'm filming videos, I'm editing, I'm acting, I'm traveling here and there to go do stuff. It was a very busy and hectic, crazy schedule. So if you're trying to turn your side gig into your main gig, you better be willing to work like 80, 90 hours a week, because there were some weeks that I was just like working myself to no end. But I knew that there was kind of an end in sight to be able to maybe have the chance to just do this full time. So I'm giving it a go now. I'm trying to run a business. I've always had a dream of being an entrepreneur and running a company sort of similar to like my family and relatives. So happy to be here. But like I said earlier on, it is absolutely like now is where the hard work starts, because you just got to keep growing, and it's not going to fuel itself.
Hopefully, as you continue to grow, you'll come back in here. We can track the progress and talk about what's happened.
Yeah, 100%.
I do have another question that came out. You know what? When you're talking about sponsor content, first of all, does the company pay you more if you get 1 million views?
So right now, like, I haven't seen any contracts that are like that, but there are some sort of, I guess, performance-based bonus structured deals out there, I bet. I haven't been part of any of them, but certainly something to think about.
I was just thinking that, like, they put out a budget and you smashed it out of the park, and it's like, well,
right.
Do I get a percentage of what kind of revenue you got on?
I mean, there's definitely ways to structure partnerships like that, I'd say.
But it's a great deal for them. So one thing that annoys me in this city is when you see companies that are from outside here trying to appeal to the Philadelphia market.
Oh, okay.
When first of all you see billboards that say John on them, that you're like, we know you're not from Philly. Like, stop trying to appeal. So I think for you, it's really good for these companies in this local market because you're authentic. You're from here. We all love and respect you in the area. And but do you ever feel pressure to make sure you're going to deliver it and make sure that the city and the area, Delco, Philly, are going to be proud of what you're putting out too?
Yeah. No, I totally think so. I mean, a lot of my niche following had started in the Delco area, and so I always stay true to that because I'll come back to a Delco or a Philly accent-based video after I hadn't done one in a couple months. But I think, I hope everyone is out there rooting for me or has been rooting for me, because I started this channel with no followers, and Philly really put me on the map, and Delco put me on the map. So yous are my guys, I guess is what I would say. Yeah, I hope to make everyone proud and the city proud.
Obviously, the area has been blown up over the last, I don't even know how many years, but there's been so many shows, so much content that's been created around here. I mean, people know the area now. Outside of Philly, know who Delco is. Tires doesn't hurt either.
No,
shows
not
like
at all.
that. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's
Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah,
I think there was one recently.
Yeah, so
Totally.
before we go for, I actually want to know from a personal side. So I know your grandfather was a business owner. Your dad, your uncle was your grandfather the first business owner, or was there?
I think it
before
was
him?
my great grandfather.
Really?
He was selling newspapers in a newspaper stand, and then I think my grandfather Harvey had started the first pharmacy in Chester, Pennsylvania. So that's where the Delco roots come from, is Chester, PA. But bloodline full of entrepreneurs, business owners, and characters for sure.
And now I know at least 2 of your brothers are running businesses.
Right.
Does everybody or?
Yeah. Well, Sam is still in college, so not at that point yet. But yes, the other 2 do. So it runs in the family. You got to be like a hungry type of person and have that type of mentality to be able to make things happen. So.
Yeah, it just got me sidetracked thinking about it when you were like my dad, and I was like, how far back did this go? But let's talk about the discipline part. We'll go what does your week look like? How do you make sure that you're putting out the content, but also how are you allocating your time? Like, what does a typical week look like for you, just so people get an idea of what you actually do to get that content
Absolutely, yeah. And it'll kind of give some info out and perspective on what a content creator or someone who owns a media business does, like someone like me, usually it depends on the week of exactly what happens, but I have a team that I work with at an agency called Underscore Talent. So they're my managers and agents and administrative staff. So we communicate back and forth working on different projects like deals and sponsored campaigns that we're working on. So that's part of the day-to-day from like a business perspective. And then on more of like the organic posting and content creation side, that is, all right, like some weeks it's, all right, I'm writing, I'm figuring out scripts, I'm plotting, I'm planning, I'm booking sets, I'm getting my film guys and the people that I need to take video in place and making everything very, very organized and planned out for the next few weeks. All the while I'm filming some of those days. So I already have the film day for that week or film days for that week plotted out and scheduled. So those days are happening. And then on the other days, we're writing, we're editing. I mean, I edit all of my content too, so I don't really outsource for any of that. So it's a combination of filming the organic content, writing the organic content, communications with my team for some of the sponsored stuff that we do, and then editing all the content and posting it. So in a nutshell, I could always be writing, filming, editing, communicating with my team, and planning for the future.
Yeah. Are there times where something just comes up out of nowhere? You're like, I have to shoot this.
Yeah, 100%. And those are some of the best ideas ever. And I feel really lucky when I come across those types of ideas and when that type of thing happens, especially when the views and the numbers match up.
Yep.
So I'll take 40, 50 hours for a video that essentially flops in my mind. And I'll take 40 or 50 seconds for a video that gets 2 million plus views.
Yeah.
And it makes you scratch your head a little bit about like where to spend your time. But at the end of the day, you know that you're going to come across those spontaneous ideas every now and then. And that's just how it goes. So I always have my thinking cap on and I'm always camera ready.
So on that point, and I'm going chronologically out of order here, but what do you remember that piece of content that you put out there that you said, hey, this is something that I can do? Like this is, I can be successful at this because this happened.
Yeah, I do remember
What
it.
was that
and
like?
specifically, it was the one video, Delco Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I filmed it in my grandmother's apartment right near Garden City, PA, headed towards Brookhaven.
Yeah.
So essentially one of the like hearts of Delco, I would consider it. And we had this idea about filming a scene, just a 3-minute, 4-minute scene about something that happens at Thanksgiving where we're all talking in Delco accents, playing Delco characters. So I grew up in Delaware County. All of my coaches and family and everyone that I was surrounded by was from Delaware County. So I had that sort of like influence and understood the culture. So we put that into a video. I wrote it. We did some improv. We figured out the script and the plot along the way while we were filming it, cut it down, put it up online. Might have been like my 7th video. I'm not kidding. But I had been making videos for a long time. But that was when I was considering myself, all right, I'm doing this. Probably my 7th video. Started popping off on Twitter through a repost from Barstool Philly. And that's when I realized, okay, the shareability of a video is what makes it go viral. Something that someone's going to pick up and say, I'm going to share this with my friends. So it taught me a lot because I realized, all right, if I can get videos that are relatable, funny, original, something that someone wants to share, and then other more important part is area location. If I can make it about some place in the U.S. East Coast, whatever it is, maybe that's what makes people want to like affiliate with the video, share the video, relate to the video. So that's the first video that I really saw pop off. And I thought then, okay, maybe we have a shot. Maybe I need to lean into this a little bit more and keep doing Delco videos and Philly-oriented skits. But at the same time, I don't want to just like pigeonhole myself and just do that because I always had the vision of making just like generic, anyone could laugh at this videos.
Well, that's as a guy who I told you earlier, and I'm a little bit older, but I'm also not, even for my age, I'm not a social media guy. But that's one of the few videos I've seen, and
Cool.
it's hilarious. I
Thanks.
also,
Thanks.
I'm from Delco. I lost the accent.
Yeah, you don't have
My
it.
brother still had it.
Okay. I feel like I have it a little bit,
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
slips in.
Yeah.
It slips out every now and then, is what
Yeah.
I'd say.
I changed from water to water a long time ago.
I think I'm still water. I think I'm water.
Yeah. So, maybe this isn't the same for everybody, but I'm thinking about when there's other people thinking about this type of business. What do you see as the most consistent revenue streams and or even the most profitable things? Because I just from knowing you and the inside baseball side of it, I'm like, there's some things that I didn't even think about that you can make money on. If you're okay sharing some of that.
Yeah, I'm happy to break it down. So from a high level, Sayburm Media is a entertainment media business that is focused on producing and creating and posting funny original content, right? So that is our focus. We want to build community. We want to build engagement and an online community. And we're also looking to find strategic partnerships to get brands and businesses awareness and engagement online. So revenue streams, I would say primarily are the sponsored campaigns that we work on with companies and brands. So for example, I've worked with Netflix on a campaign, Pepsi, Dunkin', Jägermeister, Amazon Game Studios, 5 Hour Energy, like just to name some of the businesses that I have worked with across the years. And now this is after close to 7 years of creating content. And all of those have happened throughout those years. So the sponsored campaign content is definitely like weighted heavily for revenue stream. Other ways to make money and other ways that, I generate revenue for the business are cameos. So personalized videos for like a celebration or a happy birthday, just organically through the apps paying from viewership. If you are a large YouTuber, if you're a large YouTuber, then you can really do well with AdSense revenue, which means you're getting paid for, I think it's the ads that pop up on your content while people are watching.
I think that's what people think about the most. That's why I was thinking,
Totally.
what else is there?
Yeah,
out there?
and there's a certain threshold or a certain like achievement that you need to hit to be able to
Mm-hmm.
get into that bracket and pool. Personally, I am not there yet. I'll even be honest, but there are some YouTubers out there that are doing a really, really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, one famously known, Mr. Beast. Everyone knows that guy. I'm sure his AdSense revenue is really, really high because he has such good engagement and following on a platform like that. But then back to Sayburm Media, live events, merchandise, acting in TV and film opportunities. I was in Abbott Elementary for a spot over the summer. I've acted in some other like local or even bigger projects too that I can generate revenue from. But yeah, that, in a nutshell, that is what the revenue streams are and how a media business online can generate revenue.
That's great. Well, let's shift a little bit to the business side. Everybody sees the creative side. And I have to imagine, so I haven't mentioned this yet on the podcast. I have both a business and an art degree. I actually have a studio art degree. So I understand the mirroring the creative with the more analytical side. And it's a difficult thing to do when you're born a creative to then get into that other more disciplined, analytical, like making sure that the business is running smoothly. I assume that your agent probably helps a lot with that, but or the agency. But what do you find the most challenging about running an actual business?
Yeah. So 1 second, I'll take a sip of water. Here's my Phillies bottle. Go Phils, bleed red.
While you're doing that, I also will say, the part of having to risk everything and put everything on yourself, which I think, look, you made the right decision.
Thanks.
Obviously, you come from a family that does it, so it probably seems like less risk. But I just want to think about, hey, what keeps you up at night? What's the hardest part of running a business? What's that like?
Yeah, I would say the uncertainty is probably the hardest thing. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're someone that's chasing your dream or working on a passion, working on a business that you're passionate about, then you kind of just need to embrace it, because there's going to be uncertainty. There's going to be a sense of like discomfort being an entrepreneur running a business, no matter where the business is. Think about it. If you're at the top and you started it and it's grown, or you're just starting out in a startup similar to me, or even before me with just an idea, there's going to be a little sense of discomfort. So if you can navigate through the discomfort and the uncertainty, then you're kind of meant for it. Yeah. And so I know there's a good percentage of businesses that might not perform well, might not grow to like where they want to be, but I'm at a point where I want to see where this can go, and I want to see where I can grow this. And I've been running these channels for close to 7 years, like I said, and been generating revenue for, I think it's been almost 4 years. So I had a proof of concept, and I have a proof of concept of how things work and how things run. From there, it's really just about keeping operations going and keeping the content flowing and staying original and staying authentic and playing the fun characters and enjoying the process along the way of making skits, because that's what I got into this for, right? And from there, I'd say, it's a little like nerve-wracking some weeks because you don't have that steady stream of income coming in that you might have for like a 9-to-5 job. But it's worth it. It's worth it to be able to do the work that you want to do and work on something that you really love.
That's great. I grew up on Entourage. You're probably too young for it. But,
no, I've seen Entourage plenty of times. It's one of my favorite shows.
You know those times where he'd get an $8 million check and then he didn't know where the next one was coming and he'd blow through that $8 million. And I feel like that with even advisors coming in that are brand new and they don't know how they're going to grow their business. So, all business owners go through that with the ebbs and the flows. So
that's how it goes.
You don't have anybody on staff, right?
It's all just, like team 1099s. Yeah.
I didn't know if you had like an assistant or anything that you're paying. So, and I know you just got started, so you got to take in baby
Well, no, I
steps
definitely have operating costs. It's just no one on salary.
Yeah. Perfect. So where do you actually see this thing going? Well, first of all, I heard you from a creative standpoint. You're kind of like, I want to see where it goes. But do you have any actual objectives or vision for the business and for yourself with this? And it's okay if you don't, because you're kind of living in the moment, and that's great. I love seeing it. So
Thanks. Yeah, I think from the proof of concept that I've seen of how all of this operates is staying authentic and true and making funny videos every day, every week.
Yeah.
That's got to be the main goal, because that's how the business functions, in my opinion. That's how the operation moves. And then partnering with brands and businesses that make sense, that allow us to be able to like reinvest back in and make bigger projects, larger projects, like more long form, higher quality sketches with more actors and cooler sets and better cameras. And that's where I would be able to make something that I could potentially pitch to like a network or a studio. So for instance, if I made a 6-episode series, or I made a pilot that I could pitch or go show someone to see if they would want to invest in it. These are all very, very possible things that could happen, and they're things that people are doing that have been doing this for way longer than I have, that are much older than me. So, as a young entrepreneur who's been doing this for 7 years, I think that type of stuff could happen, right? That's my goal. That's what I hope to achieve. And then just keep growing organically and building the following and making better videos and funnier stuff and continuing to do what we're doing every day, which is make people laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love what you're doing. I love that you're taking this career on and full time, and that you're doing it. So,
Thanks, Neal. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I always look, when somebody's got an opportunity to run their own business anyway, I'm always the guy who's like, go for it.
Yeah.
Even if you fail, go for it. And for you, I'm like, you're not going to fail, go for it.
Thanks.
So we appreciate you coming in. Is there anything else you want to tell the listeners?
No, I would say thanks to everybody who is supporting the channels by just watching, sharing, liking, commenting. I mean, every single one of those goes a long way trying to break this algorithm and keep videos going viral. So appreciate all the support. I seriously do. And, I guess if I had a word of advice for anybody out there that's looking to get into content or make social media videos, is just to start, just
Yeah.
to get after it, start filming, start putting stuff out there and see where it goes, because you never know where a video will go. Truly, when you put it on the internet, it could go viral.
So an advisor
anytime.
putting out a podcast is okay, you know.
Hey, yeah, absolutely.
Well, appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next one. Have a good
Absolutely.
one.